I'm here with Captain Amelia Carlisle, captain of the Falcon 2000, kicking butt at her prime. This aircraft, captain in the left seat, co-pilot in the right seat. A lot of cockpit crew coordination goes on.
Sure.
So, how emotional intelligence is my thing. What part of emotional intelligence helps you increase the communication between you and the other pilot in the aircraft to make for a smooth flight, smooth transition? If there's an emergency procedure, who does what?
So you mentioned captain here in the left seat, co-pilot here in the right seat. We can even break it up further where we fly tasks in both seats. So if you're here, you're the pilot flying. Your job is to be in control of the aircraft. You're moving this control column. You might be flipping switches. If you're here in this right seat, you're the pilot monitoring. So you're making sure that checklists get run exactly right. We're backing up flows with checklists. So you might have a memory, kind of like muscle memory scenario for a certain phase of flight. Pilot monitoring is making sure that we ticked all of those off of the boxes and also communicating with ATC. Really, in the crew environment, something that's so important is when we're communicating, we're not so much communicating to talk, we're communicating to listen. So when I close my mouth and I open my ears, a lot of good work can get done regardless of what seat I'm sitting in. The other tool, I would say it's one of our most important resources, is VVM, or verbalize, verify, monitor. And we just run this system over and over and over again. If we've said something, we're gonna physically take a look. We might point, we might flick a switch and confirm its position. And then we're gonna verify that between two people.
Okay.
And then we're gonna monitor to make sure that it had the correct effect. So if we've moved a button or we've pushed a switch, it's not enough just to flip the switch. We've got to make sure that we're getting an indication in our instruments to be able to quantify that.
I like that. So say that first part again. You talk with the intent to listen, or say it one more time. You said it much more eloquently.
Our communication is less about speaking and more about listening. So when I get in here, if I close my mouth but I open my ears,
Nice.
I'm gonna get a lot more information that way than if I'm listening to respond. I'm not listening to respond. I'm listening to hear what it is that my crew is talking to me about.
So that's very important. So a lot of people nowadays, whether it's in the cockpit or others, are not listening. So what do you attribute that within you? How do you attribute that you do so well? Because I could tell that you definitely listen as we talk. What is it about you? What have you learned throughout the years? Like what attribute do you have that helps you do that?
I would say being clear and being concise goes a long way.
Yes.
But really having the tools and resources to ask questions if I don't understand. Miscommunications can happen in the cockpit, and that's where we run into potential issues. So sometimes it takes a little bit of courage to say, can you say it again? Could you repeat that? Or I heard this, did you hear this? Maybe it's a radio situation.
To confirm.
Again, we're confirming. As far as the emotional intelligence side of this goes, whether you're in a cockpit or you're out of the cockpit, when people are talking, I think it's really common for folks to be like, I'm talking right now, but if I'm talking to you and you're hearing to formulate a response, you might not actually be listening to what it is that I'm saying, right? Or you might have been like, oh, I had this thing that I wanted to throw in here. I wanted to say something else.
Right.
But when I'm communicating, a lot of the work that gets done is I'm listening, not from a place of judgment or coming from a spot to respond, but I'm hearing, and then I'm gonna repeat back what somebody said to me, and then I'm gonna try to validate what it is that they said.
I love that. There's so much about that I love. And people, even if you're not in an aircraft and you're just daily actions, as I talk to someone else, our community in this country is we're losing some integrity of that community. And part of getting that back is to be able to listen without judgment, listen with an open heart, listen with curiosity. And if you find it's hard for you to do that, there are some tools that can help you do that, whether you take up Blue EQ, an emotional intelligence company, and actually take an assessment, see where you rely on that. And then they offer training, 60, 90-day training to help you identify factors that you may have gotten in the last 4 years, because the world and the country has gone through a lot of things. So those are things that can help you out there. So people, take note. If you have a hard time listening and you're getting feedback that maybe you're not listening as well, take a look at some tools that Blue EQ could provide for you. That's my little blurb for today for Blue EQ. Okay, so 2 things I don't talk very often about. All right, so number 1, I was like, there has to be a point where I need to be less selfish about what I wanted to do. My husband wanted to have 2 kids and I wanted 0, and he was happy to have 0. Like, I was like, I'm good or whatever. And I was like, I thought about my husband. I was like, well, maybe I'll try for 1. But this was the other thing I thought about. As a woman, if I can have a kid, that's more than what half the population cannot even do this. And I'm a big fan on experiences and the things that you learn from these experiences to put in your toolbox. Because maybe one day if I become an astronaut and I meet my first alien, maybe the alien will be pregnant and I can understand. Like this weird stuff goes through my head. So at that point I said, damn it, all right, let's go try this. So I will tell you, first of all, I got pregnant way easier. I was 40 when I got pregnant. So 10 more years greater than 30, right? So 40, but I was running half marathons. I was actually in Colorado when I got pregnant.
Hey.
My son was born at Fort Carson.
No way.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, I was doing half marathons. I was running. And so that was number 1. And then when I got pregnant, like, some women are really into, oh, the baby. They want to talk about it. I was not that person. I called my son a fetus until the day he was born. When I talked to the doctor, I was like, how's the fetus doing? He goes, why do you keep calling him a fetus? I'm like, because he's a fetus.
What's up?
That's what's going on. And that's how I treated it. So I tell you this story because, 1, you don't have to be on any particular timeline.
Sure.
You can do what you need to do when you want to do it. I didn't do any IVF or anything like that. You just let it roll.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, it's okay too.
Right.
But if you want to do it, just know that a lot of other people can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Now, my kids are 12. We adopted a 6-year-old, or fostered and adopted. I will tell you, it is
work.
Yeah, it is work, but there's moments of this when you see them do something and you look at them as a mom, you go, you're kind of cool. And even for adoption, you'll look at them do something and you go, I'm putting my DNA on you. I may not have given it to you, but I'm putting it on you.
Yeah.
So those are those moments, and you'll see it from time to time. And then when you do that, think of Marilyn. He's like, damn it, she was right.
I would love to get there. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Still very much, yeah.
Yeah.
See how the cards roll out.
But don't sweat it. Enjoy this.